Hello. How's it going? Hi. Hello. There's nobody here right now, which is normal because I have a tiny channel, but I'm going to keep talking. I have a lot to say today. So you might be able to tell by the title of this video. If you are here, like the video, I'm happy that you're here. I don't want to scream into the other all by myself, or the nether. I don't know. Where's my phone? My phone has my notes. Here it is. Sorry, I'm like a little bit shaky, a little bit nervous because I have a lot of emotions about James Charles coming back. And I wrote notes for this reason. We haven't had live chat in a couple weeks because my life has been very busy. And I wanted my first live chat coming back to be like, update you on my life and like tell you all the crazy things that's been going on. And then like chatting with you about like some fun new makeup products that I've gotten. And like maybe toward the end of the video, we'll be able to do that. But I just feel like I can't move into all that fun stuff without first addressing the predator who is here to stay. And I don't use that word lightly, but I do use it allegedly. James Charles, I'm sure you're aware. If you know my teeny tiny channel, you've probably heard of Mr. Charles. He's an American YouTuber. He is a boy in makeup, which is rare compared to girls, according to society. And a couple months ago, it's between 2 and 3 months ago at this point, he was very much outed for sexting minors. And the thing is, like, it's not just that he was outed and then he denied the claims and he provided receipts and we had a repeat of, Sister Geddon from 2019 when there were similar accusations going on. No, he said, yeah, don't get it twisted. I did this, but I didn't do as many as people are accusing me of. So he didn't he didn't deny that this happened. And people brought forth receipts of him having some pretty aggressive conversations, not only with the minors that were coming forward, but also with adult people, where he was just like very aggressive in the way that he was like demanding selfies of body parts and like just like demanding a lot. And, now that he's back, he has the audacity to talk about how embarrassing it was for him, this whole scandal, how embarrassing it was that he was revealed. And, hun, at a certain point, I don't know, like, I was saying this to my boyfriend before. I naturally give everybody the benefit of the doubt. That's why, like, for a brief moment here, like, I never thought I was going to have a YouTube video with James Charles's name in it. Because at the beginning of my time creating YouTube videos was shortly after Sister Geddon, and I was not a drama channel, and I was scared to talk about stuff because they do a lot of work. They get a lot of receipts. I don't. I just kind of watch and repeat. And then when I was for a minute doing a couple of drama-ish videos, James Charles was in everybody's good graces at that time. So I didn't really have anything to talk about related to him. And then when I decided, I'm really not going to do drama stuff, now is when he gets into trouble again. So I never thought I was going to talk about him. And usually I want to have a nuanced conversation around him. Sorry, I'm just trying to blend. Because he's one of these guys who got famous at such a young age and got so famous at such a young age. And I feel like there's a discussion to be had there about, like, what mindset are you in? There are people who talk about, I think Lindsay Lohan or somebody was talking about this, like, phenomenon of when you get famous at, like, a teenage age or at a young age, you kind of naturally, Like your mind kind of gets stuck and you kind of get set in that mindset for a long time. And I think that's interesting. And I'm like, yeah, let's talk about that. And I mentioned that in the last live video that I did where I talked about Creepshow stuff of like, you know, there are some conversations to be had that are nuanced. However, he lost that right in this case to have the nuanced conversation when he said that he was going to go away, listen to the criticism, reflect, get therapy, get help, talk to professionals, learn, grow, change. And he came back, and apparently it seems that all that he's learned is how to dig his heels in harder to his side. And all that he's grown is roots deeper into the ground to hold him exactly where he is in his opinion and his perspective on things. I don't think that he went to a good therapist. I think if he did, then I don't know. I don't know that he went to any kind of therapist. If he did, it wasn't a good therapist, or at least it wasn't somebody who had the wherewithal to understand how the internet works and the toll that his actions as a multi-million subscribed creator has on young people, his followers, people who don't even follow him, but who pay attention to internet things. I don't know. He's lost his rights to nuance with me. He's lost his rights to benefit of the doubt. And I'm here, just like the title says, to say, James Charles, gaslight your kids. I want to get into that. I'm bugging out a little bit because I didn't realize how the angle of this was going to look. And I just want to put this up a little bit there so I don't look as fat as I possibly can, just like a little less fat, you know? I know I'm like plus size fashion here, but I'm not trying to look like, I don't know why the word coming to mind is gorgonzola. It's got nothing to do with cheese. Nothing. Okay. So the first problem, I think, with James Charles coming back is that he came back too soon. It's only been 2 months. And this is years of behavior that I don't think he had a chance to work on in 2 months. I just don't think that he did. And I think that you can tell by his attitude when he came back. He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready to come back. He wasn't ready to be here. Wasn't ready to hear the criticism. Wasn't ready to do anything about it. Didn't see the need. Didn't see the impact. So he wasn't ready to come back. When he came back wrong, because it seems, based on his video, that he is of the opinion still that he didn't really do anything wrong. And like, he's gone over this one talking point so many times about the kids lied to me about their ages, but every time he says that, he's going to get the same response back of several of them had their ages in their profiles, public profiles. And even if they didn't, it's still your responsibility as the adult to seek out some sort of documentation of their ages. And you need to know, as an incredibly famous person, that people are gonna lie to you to get a chance to talk to you when you're, and I was talking about this to my boyfriend earlier too. Like, he's not just a famous person. He's a famous person who has such a significant cultural impact on young boys specifically, because he's an openly gay, openly like artistic, creative young guy in makeup. And he's on YouTube in his formative adult years, in my opinion, because you have your formative years and then you have your like young adult years, you're like 18 to 24, kind of form how your adulthood goes. So he's on YouTube relating to these young audiences and being somebody who's just very boldly, proudly, happily who he is. And inspiring a lot of people and facilitating the growth and the fame of a lot of people. Anybody that he features on his channel, that's a huge influence. That's like millions upon millions of people seeing his video, and people's careers blossom just from his mention. So at this point, he's been that famous for like at least 3 years now. So he can't feign ignorance at this point, especially after going through 2019. He can't. So you have to be the one to seek out the information to make sure that you're not committing a crime, Jimmy. That's on you. So, but everybody has said all these points to him before, and he still doesn't seem to get it. Like, if you have kids who follow James Charles, you need to tell them to stop watching him, because this is why I'm making this video. And hopefully I won't take too long on this topic and we can move on to something lighter if anybody shows up to the stream and asks for that. If not, I'm just going to sit here and yell about James Charles until somebody tells me otherwise. But he's not a good example. And he's an adult person who seems to show a proclivity toward young, minor men, boys, guys. I don't know what's the right word. It's icky. They're all icky to say. And in a romantic way, knowing that that is the group of people in his audience that he has the particularly strongest impact on. Those are the people who see themselves in him. Because I'm not old, but I'm older than he is. Straight, cis, white lady living on the East Coast, not Connecticut. I'm still American, but like I'm plus sized. I'm like, there's a lot of these differences that I have between myself and James Charles. If I ever watch a James Charles video, which I don't, because his videos are aimed at kids, all the gaming nonsense, not nonsense. It's fine. It's fun. It's challenges. It's gaming. It's puppies. It's stuff that kids like. He's making content aimed for kids to attract kids to watch his channel. And then he's going and flirting with kids. That's not good. That's not good behavior. And these young boys who want to be boys proudly wearing makeup, boys proudly being gay like him, feel a special kind of connection with him because they relate to him on so many additional levels besides just liking makeup and thinking he's good at makeup and like, oh, I'll watch James Charles teach me a technique or whatever. Although that's not even what he does on his channel these days, but whatever. He's taking advantage of that particularly strong parasocial relationship that he has with gay young guys or boys or whatever, in order to send them really aggressive sexual messages. Like, that's not someone that we should look up to. It's just not. And the thing is, I wasn't going to have this strong of an opinion of him, but he said he was going to go learn his lesson, and then he came back learning nothing. He came back pretending that he's just been in the right this whole time. Is that really what we're going to say? I don't know what kind of learning, growing camp he went to for 2 months, but it wasn't good. Whatever. The biggest thing, the biggest problem that I have, and the thing that sparked me to talk about this, and again, parents, pay attention. James Charles made at least 3 to 4 very notable posts where he admitted to this behavior, okay? He made a post trying to get out ahead of it. He made a post where he was like, there's these rumors going around about this stuff. And I mean, yeah, I did it, but the guys lied to me about, so he was like trying to get ahead of it. yeah, whatever. I talked to these guys, but like they lied to me about their ages. So, and then it took like a month because there was other stuff going on in the community at the time. But then people started calling him out more, and he made a video where, again, he admitted to at least 2 cases of what he was being accused of. And there are many more out there with pictures and screenshots of him being very aggressive. But regardless, just like, you know, meeting on Tinder and then let's go over to Snapchat, and then it's all just pictures. And you have to wonder, oh my God, I really hope that those are appropriate pictures, but like they're not. You know, sorry, I get all grossed out talking about it because he's a very famous person who's been part of my life, in that like he's been on my computer screen before, and you feel the kind of surface level parasocial relationship. But it's weird to think about that person and like the details of their dating life, and especially with it being aimed toward kids, toward minors. It's just a lot. So second video, right? And second post is the video and all the talk around it, right? Okay. Third post, the breakup with Morphe, his like parent, not his parent brand, but like the brand that's always been like by his side, the best, biggest fans of James when it comes to brands. They had the whole collab, you know, they're in love. James Charles and Morphe, best buddies. They had their breakup. And so it's very well documented that he admitted to this stuff in at least all 3 of those posts. And then there was a 4th one that I was thinking about earlier, and I don't remember what it was, or else I would mention it, but I think that there was another 4th one where he admitted he didn't try to hide it. And when he came back, he deleted his apology video. This is why I'm saying James Charles is trying to gaslight your kids. Because the thing is, if you want to come back and you want to show the growth and the change and the whatever, you can't erase the apology. You have to show where you were at in order to show how far you've come. You can't pretend that these bad things didn't happen in order to move forward from the bad things. You are lying to your audience. I have to hold on. I have to pull up this clip. I first I didn't watch James Charles's comeback video, but I watched H3 watching it. And where's this section, man? It's gross. So hold on.
Last video, holding myself accountable, I mentioned that I was going to be taking a break from social media for a while and wouldn't be responding to anything. And quite a lot of people took advantage of my time away and really ran wild with all sorts of stories. And
that's not true. This all came out before he bailed. I haven't talked about it since he bailed.
Okay. Yeah.
Worse, I do want to take some time in this video today to just shed some light and further information on some stories, you know, that either did or did not happen.
You're not going to talk about it since he bailed.
Okay, sorry. So I have to. I'm not a professional. I'm not professional enough to do this. I need to look through this and find the right moment. But first of all, it is weird. That's a good point, Ethan. It's weird that he's doing his makeup while he's talking about such a serious video. But so he's talking in this moment, James is, about this Twitter thread of people accusing James Charles of being a predator. And there were like 20 victims or something. Yeah, so this is it. This is what got me heated. Okay. So I'm going to play it. I found it. Thank you for YouTube. Thank God for YouTube subtitles so I can scrub through this video. All right.
I'm going to go through this list one by one because I know that nobody wants to sit here for an hour listening to me talk about this, but I do feel as though I have to say something because I am just not comfortable with this video or really any video moving forward, allowing anybody, let alone my followers, to think that there are any victims of James Charles, let alone 20.
You fucking just deleted a video of you saying you sent... Bro, what the fuck?
Thank you, Ethan. You're not comfortable with anybody saying that there are any victims of James Charles. So then why were you out there talking to teenage boys, James Charles? If you're not comfortable with there being any victims, then don't victimize children. This is what I mean. This is, sorry, I'm feeling something. How dare you? How dare you come back after like harassing little boys and trying to get in the pants of these minors who you have this parasocial relationship with, who feel this connection with you, and then you're embarrassed by the fact that people are talking about this? You don't want anyone to think that there are any victims of James Charles. Listen, I think that his legal team advised him to take down that video. I'm sure that that means that there's going to be some kind of lawsuit happening at some point somewhere or something. I don't know. But excuse you, and how fucking dare you talk about your discomfort, James. Jimmy, Jimbo. You don't have the right to talk about how uncomfortable and embarrassed you are about this whole thing, because you made victims of young boys and you've admitted your responsibility in this situation. You are a danger at this point. Like, I'll give anybody a chance to learn, grow, change. You know, I'm sorry, I just like looked like a 90s like thing. That wasn't what I was trying to do. I have an itch right here. I'll give anybody a chance to go get off social media, clear your mind, learn, grow, change, therapy, counsel, church, prayer, whatever you need to do to get right with God, get right with your community, get right with your mind, and come back, you know, clear-headed, clear mind. I'm better. I'm going to show you that I'm better. But that's not what he's doing. He's walking back all of the growth and change that he promised us. He's saying, what? There's not any victims. I'm just so uncomfortable with the idea that I made anybody uncomfortable. Shut the fuck up. How fucking dare you? Like, this is that was my breaking point. That was my, I have to talk about this, because my neighbor is one of my neighbors, my not channel neighbors who I love, but like one of my actual neighbors is like a 13-year-old girl, loves watching James Charles. And all I can think in my head is, what is she learning? What is she seeing from this? Like, I feel so bad because she's a stan, you know, she's absolutely in love. But like, he's gaslighting kids. Kids are not going to know. Kids are going to believe whatever comes out of his mouth. My neighbor, little neighbor girl, she's not going to know the difference. She's going to say, you know, if she even remembers the content of that video, because 2 months is a long time when you're 13. I'm 28. I don't remember what happened 2 months ago. You know, but when you're 13, it feels like half your life 2 months ago. She's going to think, first of all, that he didn't do anything, because he said he didn't do anything in that, you know, in this video. Now he's saying there are no victims of James Charles. But also she's going to think, she's going to learn from this example. She's going to internalize this as acceptable behavior if she finds herself, you know, in a smaller scale conflict, you know, a problem with her sister, a problem with her job someday in the future, you know, any, you know, normal problems that normal people have, you know, where you can apologize for something. And I don't know if he changed his mind or if he didn't mean it in the first place, but either way, it's gross. Don't tell me how uncomfortable you are, James Charles. I saw those texts that you were sending to those boys. Even whether you were sending them to adults or to children, the way that you were talking to people and the way that you were demanding intimate photos, disgusting. Gross. Do not talk about how uncomfortable you are, James. For God's sakes. Okay. I feel like he's trying to, okay, so gaslighting is the word that I used in the title of this, and here's why. What's gaslighting? I'm not talking about Gabby Hanna's overusage of the word, although I could, but that's a different video. Gaslighting is trying to convince someone that something that they know happened didn't actually happen. Or vice versa, or something that, trying to convince someone that something that did not happen actually did happen. Basically convincing someone of the opposite of what is true and making them believe it. So kids are very prone to being gaslit because they're kids. And add on that the fact that they admire and look up to James. So they're more likely to give him the benefit of the doubt because, again, they're kids. They're hopeful. They haven't been jaded by the world. They haven't seen people lie that much. So kids are easy to gaslight, especially kid fans. And he came back after admitting that he did this stuff at least 3 times to at least 2 people, if not more, and erased the video where he said that. Now he's coming back and saying, there are no victims. What are you talking about? It feels like he's trying to gaslight. It feels like he's trying to erase their memories of the whole scandal 2 months ago, or at least change it, manipulate it, trying to pretend like he never admitted to this stuff, even though he definitely did. So that's the beauty of the YouTube community. That's why commentary and drama YouTubers exist. And that's why I'm very glad that they do, because there are thousands of videos out there, James, with clips from that video that you took down, with screenshots of your posts where you admitted these things. You are not going to be able to escape this from adults. You can't erase our memories. You can try it with kids, though, and that's not good. And that's why I'm saying, parents, if James Charles, if your kids love James Charles, don't let them watch. I'm sorry. Don't let them watch James Charles, because he's going to lie to them about the fact that he is literally admitted to sexting minors. He's going to pretend that he hasn't. And I mean, listen, if that's something you have a problem with, then just don't let them watch. I haven't said that on this channel before, but don't let them watch James Charles. He's going to lie to their faces and try to convince them that he's not something that he already admitted to being. He's a criminal. Whether you like the law or not, whether you want to give him chances to redeem himself or not, there is something he has done that needs redeeming from. He is a criminal. And he's going to try to pretend that he's not. He's going to try to change their memory, make them forget that he admitted by removing what he can remove, at least. I just find it disgusting. I just find it's so low. It's so low. It's so it's not what I expected, And it's funny because he's not the only one. David Dobrik came back, and in his return video, he did all of the things that everybody was mad at him for, putting his friends in a lot of physical danger. A bunch of why did you go away and say you were going to learn and change and grow and then come back and just do the same exact thing? Why? Why even bother going away? We're not dumb. We're all waiting for your comeback with bated breath. And the first thing that you show us is, in the case of David Dobrik, absolutely no change, or in the case of James Charles, regression. we're all like, did you think we weren't going to see? Did you think we weren't going to notice? We're all waiting to see. And we're all tuning in. We're all going to see it. Like, you can't hide this. We all know. But the kids don't know. That's the problem. So as adults, we have to continue talking about this, and we have to continue like calling them out, because the kids aren't going to be able to, and they're going to be the ones that are most impacted by him, especially the young gay boys in makeup who he inspires. And God bless them. They're not doing nothing wrong. But James Charles is taking advantage of them. He specifically has dated his fans, or has been talking to sexually and sexting with his fans specifically. That is a problem. If you are the mother or father or auntie or uncle or cousin or whatever of a young boy who is interested in makeup and watches YouTube, warn him about James Charles. Warn him. Because honestly, any young boy fan, James Charles could be sliding in the DMs for all we know. I hate to say it, but he's admitted it. And there's proof out there. So I don't know what James wants us to think at this point, but it's not working for adults. It might be working for kids. This is my problem. He is lying blatantly to his fans. And I think that that's what just like surprised me, was just like how blatant it is, and like how boldly he's willing to lie and just like pretend that by removing one video it just erases everything that happened. It's real gutsy. It takes a lot of guts to lie so obviously. And the thing is, like, I don't pick up on this stuff too good. I was telling my boyfriend, like, I give everybody the benefit of the doubt to a fault. Yet I was able to see the problem here. So I guess that does give me some hope that maybe some kids will notice the hypocrisy and the betrayal and deception of how James Charles has acted and his return. Here's hoping, God willing. Because if I could pick it up and I'm like stupid when it comes to this stuff, I hope that they can. But it's gross that he's even trying to pull the wool over their eyes like this. They're kids. Leave them alone. They're kids, man. They're kids. One more thing that I wrote down that I think I haven't said yet. James Charles has a hard time just admitting to being wrong. In this scenario, and with the issue with his employee that's suing him, everything that everyone says is just making up crazy things about him, making up lies about him. This employee that's suing him is saying the craziest things, even though, can I just say, he like boasted about paying her $72,000 a year when he makes millions. Are you joking me? You capitalist pig. Pay your employees what they deserve. If you're making millions of dollars and the person who edits and produces your videos is making under $100K, you're selfish as fuck and you don't deserve your millions, for God's sakes. If you're the talent only and you're not doing the editing, are you kidding me? Editing is the hard part of this job. Editing is why I do live streams on Mondays now, because I don't have time to edit, because it takes a long time. Editing is the part that sucks. And you're giving them, I don't know, like probably what, like less than 5% I imagine that you make more than $1 million a year, Jimothy Charles. I imagine it's in like the 5 million range. Just, I don't know why, just imagining that. I have no real reason to think that. But I know multi-millions, okay? I know that for, at one point, a certain other makeup YouTuber revealed he was asking for $60,000 to promote a product in one video. So it's safe to say that $72,000 for an annual salary is not much skin off his nose for somebody who is doing so much work. The editing sucks. Editing is awful. That's the one part about being a YouTuber that I've gotten into enjoying it, and I've gotten into making it work for myself in ways like finding shortcuts and making it easier for myself, because I like to do fun edits. I like to do kind of more creative things, but it just takes a lot of time. It's time consuming, and like the end result never looks quite as good as you think it's going to look for the amount of hours that you put into it. And he can't even pay that person $100,000. Like, come on, man. Come on. Whatever. When it comes to these things where he seems to be in the wrong with sexting minors and with the employee who's suing him, and in my opinion, who he is underpaying when she used to work for him, doesn't anymore. He has a really hard time being wrong. And everybody in these scenarios is just lying about him, just telling nasty lies about James, because why? Why? Tell me why. Why? Nobody ever has, the whole reason that anybody can come up with is the 15 minutes of fame. And there was one person who tried it with this James Charles scenario, and he was very quickly found out and roasted to death for it. And everybody who supported that person was also called the fuck out for it and shut the fuck down about it. So the 15 minutes of fame theory really doesn't work. Why would somebody blame James Charles, one of the most beloved figures on the internet, about something so serious if it wasn't true? Because if it's not true, it's a kind of little bit of a death wish, at least socially and on the internet, being blacklisted from everywhere and everybody. But also, internet impacts real life. People get hate mobs sent after them and face real life consequences. Hashtag I stand with Hello Leash. The sheer number of fans that would be turned against accusers, that are turned against accusers, and just based on Gabby Hanna's whole situation, we know how rabid stans and fans can be. Having those people, like inviting those people into your life over a lie so you can get 15 minutes of fame. It's not 15 minutes of fame. It's 15 minutes of hate and harassment and people trying to down all of your accounts and people telling you how much you suck and you're fat and ugly and you. And the thing is, these are when somebody has real stories. They've already been through the harassment and the abuse from the abuser who they're accusing. And now they have to sit and listen to their fans and stans who don't know shit about it tell them that they're wrong and they're lying. Why would that be worth it? What kind of fame is that? If it was all about 15 minutes of fame, what kind of fame is that? Famous for accusing someone of sexting you? That's so weird. So this is what I mean. Like, there's no reason for people to lie about this stuff. it's more embarrassing for the person bringing out the accusation than it is for James. It's more uncomfortable for the people going through this stuff at James's hand than it is for James. So there's no, I can't think of a reason other than, everybody says money and 15 minutes of fame. We already talked about 15 minutes of fame. And guess what? Money from what? Like the employee who's suing him, I get that there's always like, oh, she could be suing him for the money. I mean, that is what suing is. She feels she was underpaid and that she was let go wrongly. So she wants money as compensation for that. But she has every right to do that if she was wrongly let go. Oh, God, sorry. As for the other accusers, when it comes to like the sexting and stuff, what money is there to be gained from being an assault victim or a sexual harassment victim or a underage James Charles shouldn't be sending me lewds victim? What money, what paycheck comes with that? Like, I don't understand. And how would it possibly be worth the hate that comes along with it as well? I don't know. He can't handle being wrong. He cannot handle being wrong to the extent that when it's right for him to admit, then he'll admit. And when it's right for him to pretend it never happened, he'll pretend it never happened. Even when he does those things, one right after the other. So we can see he did them both. If you're doing both, then one of them's a lie, James. And the thing is, like, I would love, this is what's weird about this one, man. I just don't, okay. So at the beginning of this, like in his apology video, whatever, he said, the last time I had these accusations thrown about me in 2019, I came with the receipts and the screenshots and I had all the proof. And this time, I'm not going to do that because I really just, it's not about me. I want to apologize. And I was like, why? If you have proof, if you have evidence, do you think that we want to think that you're a predator? Show me. Clear your name. But I don't think that he can. I think that if he could have, he would have. But so, if you can't clear your name, why would you come out and say there are no victims? I don't get it. If you can, now you're saying that there's no victims of James Charles. But you're not adding to the story. You're not adding some receipts that change my mind or anything. You're just taking away your admission. You're not adding anything of value to the conversation. So why are we supposed to think that now you're telling the truth and before you were not? Like, I don't get this. It doesn't make any sense to me. And the lack of sense just makes it more likely in my mind that he's guilty. Like, just don't let your kids watch James Charles. He's lying to them. He's lying to all of us, but the adults can see through it. The kids can't often. And they're the ones who are his fans. And they're the ones who are in love with James Charles. And I get it. He's fun. He's colorful. He's fresh. He's gaming now. He's collabing with Dream. It's a whole fun time. But he's also DMing those fans. He's DMing his fans to try to get lewds and nudes. So if you have kids, especially young boys who are getting into makeup, Do not let them watch James Charles. He's trying to gaslight your kids, specifically your kids. He knows that the adults are not going to fall for this shit, but the kids will. So that's why he's making himself the victim in this video. I'm just not comfortable with anybody thinking that there are any victims of James Charles. I was just so embarrassed by this whole situation. Me and my feelings and my needs, even though I'm the one who made everybody uncomfortable. Nobody gives a shit about your feelings, James. You were wrong, and you need to accept that and go do all of that growth and learning and changing that you were talking about. Remember a couple months ago? I did not think that me talking about this was going to take 46 minutes. Guys, yeah. No, that's at this point, I have nothing else to add. I might just be repeating myself if I do so. If anybody's here watching, which right now there's not really, feel free to jump in at any time. But I don't know. I was thinking about pivoting to trying to talk about like makeup and stuff, but it just doesn't feel right. So I think I'm not gonna. I think I'm gonna end the live a little early and just go, because I've said everything I need to say, and I don't want to start saying a bunch of stuff that I don't need to say, like my thoughts on like fucking Charlotte Tilbury magic cream sample. You don't care, and that's fair. I barely care, and I was gonna make a video about it. So, if you watch this on the replay, hey, hi, hello, thank you. Like this video, subscribe to my channel for more occasional rants like this. Usually on Mondays, it's Makeup Monday, and we talk about some more lighthearted stuff. Today is not that day, but this is an important video, and it's an important subject to talk about. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And again, if you have kids, if you know kids that are into James Charles, do not let them watch, and tell them why. Tell them why you're not letting him watch. Use language that is appropriate for their age range, but tell them that he is lying to them. Every age range understands lying. You can say he did a very bad thing, and at first he admitted to it, which took guts, and that was a strong and smart thing to do. And he said that he was going to go away and that he was going to apologize for doing the bad thing. But then he came back and he pretended that he didn't do it. And that's not very good. So we don't trust James Charles. I don't know if he's going to lie to you more and more times, little son or daughter of mine. I don't want you to watch somebody that is lying to you and that could hurt your feelings and could make you think something that's not true because they're lying to you. So I don't think that you should watch James Charles. And then immediately turn them to other creators. There are so many other good-hearted, talented creators that kids could watch instead of James Charles. Please point them to other people. There are other people out there. Just scroll through Instagram. You're going to find so many. Or YouTube itself. There are other people that we can watch besides James Charles that kids will enjoy watching besides James Charles. And we can slowly let him not be famous anymore. Let him go away. I think the only thing that'll push him away at this point is money. If he stops making all that cash that he apparently is hoarding because he's only paying his editor and producer $72,000 a year. Like a gross person. Like a capitalist pig. Anyway, sorry. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you and your time and the fact that you have spent your time here with me. I will see you next for Fashion Friday. At this point, I don't quite know what that video is going to be, but we'll figure it out. So much love. Don't support James Charles.